So at the end, I'm going to leave a little brief Q&A time and kind of go through some more specifically about the Women's Wellness Exchange. I don't want to take a ton of time away from our conversation with Kath, but just in case you're not familiar, just quickly, our mission at the Women's Wellness Exchange is really just to be a gateway to help women empower themselves and really owning their self-care and a place where they can go to find help in their self-care through every step of their life. So we want to do that by really making self-care more attainable, more approachable, more accessible. And we've built this community of women that are healers and in all different modalities to really, through their products and services and events and support, help women on their self-care journey. So that's our mission. We love having these Friday calls to kind of bring different women in different modalities to light. Usually our founder Tracy does them, and she's away this weekend, which gave me the opportunity to be here with all of you. So a little intro into why I wanted to have Kath on with us today. I've known Kath for, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm going to unmute you now, Kath. Are you ready for that? Okay. All right, there we go. So I don't know, Kath, I've known you for 6 years, maybe?
Well, I remember your children being born, but I think I met their father first.
Yeah, so even 8+ years.
Yeah, right.
But several years ago, I was leading a women's book group, and there was 12 or 13 women in the room. And one of the questions I had asked in this group was, who was it in your life, or did you have somebody in your life who you really felt like, you could ask anything about womanhood, about motherhood, about self-care, about wellness, about aging? And there was one woman in the room who said that she had that person, and that was Kath's daughter, Alyssa. So Kath has also been one of those women for me over the past few years. So I'm really excited to chat with her.
Well, and did Alyssa say that I was the one person that she could speak with?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a relationship fostered, right? Why don't we have that relationship with our mothers? Like, why can't we ask our mothers everything? Yeah. It's really kind of a crazy quandary of our culture that we're so separated, just woman to woman. Yeah. Mother to daughter. It's kind of crazy. So let's break that, right?
So before we jump into the conversation, I would love we have 4 other women on with us today. I'd love if everybody's up for it to just do a quick little intro of everybody that's here. If you want to just say your name and your business, if you have a business you want to share, and then just maybe one line about, what was it about this topic that made you want to jump on the call today. So Quinn, do you want to start for us?
Yes, and of course I just took a big bite of food.
Oh no.
So hi, my name is Quinn Slayton, and I've been helping Tracy out with a few things with the Women's Wellness Exchange. And I also own a pet portrait business, so I'm an artist. And what was the question, Erin? I'm sorry.
Oh, just one line or so about, what drew you to this topic, this generational wisdom topic.
Yes, I just feel like I used to work for a nonprofit where I worked with a lot of young people between the ages of 18 and 25. And I just often, found a lot of the younger women that I worked with kind of lacking in confidence or afraid to take up their own space or use their voice. And so I'm always interested in this topic of like how we can help young women and women of all ages to like find their voice and their passion and not feel like they can't take up space in this world.
Great. Thank you, Quinn. Perla?
Hello, ladies.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Perla Phillips with Resiliency in Motion. Tracy and I have been networking and working together for many years, we do a Wednesday wellness. I own a now live virtual training facility. We are holistic fitness for women. So she comes and speaks with our group like once a month, and I joined the Wellness Exchange right off the bat. And I've actually known Kathy and eaten at her restaurant before it was a whole restaurant, and got my supplements there when I was bodybuilding. So that was quite some time ago. Yeah. And the reason this topic really drew me was because I just turned 50 in December. And my children are 24, 25, and my business partner is in her 30s. And we work with clients who are older. So I thought, wow, what a way to hear what someone else has to say about these generational gaps. So whenever I can learn something, I get really excited. So Kath, thank you so much for being here and being willing to share with us.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Perla. Okay, Lisa, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, I'm going to ask to unmute you. It looks like you're on mute, so hang on just a moment. Okay, there you are.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a little late in getting myself situated. I'm not sure if
That's okay.
my iPad was out of power and it was frazzled, but I didn't hear exactly what all you wanted to say.
So we're just looking for a brief introduction, just your name, if you had a business you wanted to share, and then kind of what drew you to this topic today. Just quickly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Lisa Maurer, and I do have a small business, not related to women wellness at all. I buy and resell some highway products. And what drew me to this topic? I think this is an amazing topic, and it's actually like this topic actually hit right home for me because someone had told me about Women's Wellness Exchange, and I kept saying, oh, I need to try to tune in. But when I heard that this was the topic today, I'm like, this is the day I'm tuning in, because I think it's spot on with what women need. Like, I feel like there's some things women just don't like to talk about. No one likes to talk about certain things. I have a very good friend I walk with every day, but she's not someone I could approach. So.
Good. Well, great. Thank you. We're so glad to have you. And we have one more woman on here. A, who are you?
Hi, it's Amy Love. How are you?
Amy, hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Sorry, I am about to be driving, so I'm not on video.
Oh,
but
no worries.
I'm so thrilled to be here. I've known Kath for a long time, probably close to 10 years now, and just love supporting anything that she's doing or anything she has to say. I'm always open ears for her. I am, let's see, what do I do? I'm a coach and consultant for women entrepreneurs, specifically in the wellness space. So branding, marketing, setting up business systems, like all of that good stuff. I've been in the wellness world for a long time through the spa industry and massage therapy, energy work, all sorts of alternative medicine and wellness. And then I've been a nutritional therapist the past 10 years. So all working online and helping women succeed online. So this is all in my wheelhouse. So I'm really excited to hear what Kath has to say.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. So Kath, are you all, can we hear you?
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So we have kind of a reverb.
Yeah,
actually, log off one of your,
you know what? Sorry.
Did that do it?
Oh, no.
Lisa, I don't think Lisa's muted. There you go.
Okay. All right. Oh, now we can't hear you at all, Kath. Oh dear. Can you log off from your phone and just be on your computer?
Muting. There, how's that?
Good, perfect.
I had
All right.
difficulties to start also.
No worries, we're good now. So Kath and I had quite a long conversation about this the other night, about what we were going to talk about today. And one of the things that I was curious about, Kath, just in your experience over the past couple of decades, on how you see that the self-care and kind of women's wellness industry has changed for the better in some places, and then also, what are kind of some detrimental trends that we should be looking out for as younger women today?
Yeah, I have been thinking about that. I think I'm a proponent of self-care and self-love, and really honestly recognizing that we are not perfect, that we're going to have some imperfection, and that we don't let that imperfection be the roadblock to where we want to go. I mean, it can be so simple as, it sounds ridiculous, but this is like straight honesty. Like, I have a mole right here. This mole could stop me from doing what I want to do, because sometimes it like just stands out for me, and or I see a photograph of myself, and I mean, I guess I could go have it cut out, but sometimes you have this imperfection that's just very natural, but you look at it and you make it bigger than it needs to be. I kind of feel like I can be Annie McPhee a little bit with my mole. Like, the more you get to know me, maybe it just disappears, and that's life. But I think the self-care industry, it's gotten so that we're just people, I shouldn't say. I think it promotes people just being self-absorbed, maybe, and losing balance because I kind of see self-care as self-love and nurturing yourself. And there's the exterior, right? And then there's the interior, and then there's your soul. So if you just get stuck on the exterior, you aren't taking time to kind of take care of your interior and then nurture your soul, which really fuels you. And I think the self-care industry, you want to be beautiful and radiant and vibrant, but why? Is it just for the way you look? What does that serve? I mean, maybe and I think if you just take care of the exterior, here's my husband coming in. I'm on my Zoom call. Thanks, son. I almost put a note on the door. I didn't think you'd be home so early. All right. It's almost like you have a house that's beautiful from the outside. There's window boxes and the shutters are painted a vibrant color and it looks picture perfect. But if you open the door and it's hollow on the inside, there's no nurturing places or comfortable spots to be, or a kitchen that's nurturing you. And then if you haven't fueled your fire, your soul, it's cold. So what does it mean to have this beautiful facade if you aren't kind of creating, also nurturing yourself, loving yourself? And then I even need to add, like, giving of yourself. Like, once your cup is full, really the idea is that it overflows to share and to give and to be connected. And then we receive more than we give. So it's kind of like this circle. And I think if people only get to the first spot of loving themselves and caring about how they look, but they don't go any further, it can be a very shallow existence. I think you could feel depressed and sad and hyper-focused on your imperfections. So I don't know. I think it's gone to an extreme.
Yeah, I note, one thing that I notice a lot in, even accounts I follow on social media that speak a lot to self-care, like you said, it is more of just, the messaging that you usually get is self-care that includes like spa days or, getting a facial or taking a bath, which, yes, is all great. But sometimes, what I like to remind myself is that self-care is not always something that's comfortable. Sometimes the thing that you most need isn't going to feel good at the time. And that's that like deeper level of self-care that I wished we all had, those wise women, the older women in our life to kind of take us there and show us the self-care that's like really more deep and nourishing and not just the external spa day or bubble bath chocolate.
Right, and we should have those days, right? We should, but really I think self-care is knowing, if there's like where your limits are and what you might need to moderate, and, loving yourself by feeding yourself the best food that you can provide. And I don't know, I think I was a mother, honestly, I wasn't the greatest at self-care. I took care of everything ahead of myself, and then I squeezed myself in there. I was always the last one dressed and ready in my family because I got everyone else set first. I don't think that's necessarily the best way to be. And so, my children actually my daughters taught me as they were growing up, I would see them taking care of themselves and then getting other things. And I was like, hey, that's a good idea. When I first was able to take care of myself first, and I guess just to backtrack a little bit, I was a very young mother. I mean, I was 18 when I had my first child. And so I was just so happy to take care of this baby that it really, I didn't think about taking care of myself first. But I do think that there's a value to giving yourself some time and letting the dishes go, or what's important doesn't matter. Obviously, if you have a crying child, that's important. But I think that it is important to prioritize yourself. But for what end? To what end? And I think that's the thing, that take care of yourself so you can show up in the world in your best self. Absolutely. And I was even thinking about, all of these. One of my daughter's friends say to me, like, my friends are getting Botox as a preventative method. And, what do you think about that? And I think too, there's like an acceptance of where you are in life and then celebrating it. And I think there's beauty to every stage of life. And when we honor the stage, we, and then we move on, right? We move on to the next stage. Like, when you're a beautiful virgin teenager, hopefully, I mean, that is just such a gorgeous phase of life for young people. And then they mature into their young adulthood and whether they have children or not, or mature again. And like, each phase has its beauty. And I think if we don't recognize it, like, we don't want to be 20 our whole life. I don't want to be 20. I mean, I'm accepting my changes. I'm accepting my body's changes. And I think
sorry, I'm in agreement that it seems like recently, over the past, I don't know how many decades, kind of gotten away from really celebrating each of those like maiden, mother, crone stages. We just glorify the maiden stage. And it does seem like now it is starting to change a bit. Maybe not as rapidly as we would like it to, but
think of the connotation of those two words, maiden versus crone. Like, we think of crone as the old crone, like, it's not a word that, like, goddess. I mean, but we should think of crone as goddess, but we might call her wise woman, and that feels better today, because I think crone, I don't know why. So I think there's a level of accepting your maturity and your growth and honoring it, honoring our body.
So on that, what would you have liked to know, maybe 20 or 30 years ago about aging that you felt like you couldn't ask, or the advice you didn't get, you wish you did?
So I'm going to touch on Lisa's note that she has I believe she said she had a girlfriend that she walked with every day, and even found that it was difficult to be honest with her. Was that what she said? Was that clear? I was kind of on my phone. And so true, women to women, we even put up barriers. And I guess if there's one thing that I wanted to, was that it, Lisa? Sorry, I see you're just clicking in. Yes. So I've been a proponent of breaking down these barriers. If I wanted to know, if there was something I wanted to know, it was how the vagina functions through every decade of your life. Like, nobody tells you that your vagina is going to become more delicate and very, I almost unplugged my phone. Sorry about that. No one tells you that you go through all these thinnings and things change, and even like after birth, that you might have more pressure on your bladder. So certain women have problems with urinary, just incontinence. And like, why don't we talk about it? People say do your Kegels, but they don't say why. And I have a friend in her,
or what that even is, really.
Yeah. And I would recommend that everyone, including spouses, and watch the vagina monologues. I mean, like, the language, we have to foster this language. So I guess that's what I would have liked. I would have liked way more transparency about our bodies and how they, especially our reproductive organs, how they function throughout life. Like, I had very easy menstrual cycles, so I thought I was and I took very good care of myself. and I thought I was going to hit menopause like a champion, and I didn't. I had my psyche was challenged, my body was challenged, my husband was incredibly understanding, but I don't know, we just don't share.
So how do you have any kind of ideas or just like some brainstorm thoughts about how older generations can start to support the younger generations more, just like in your, in your close community around you?
It's funny because I have a friend I walk with, and she happened to share with me something personal, and she said to me, I'm telling you because I know that you want people to talk about this. So she shared something, that was going on with her. So asking the uncomfortable questions, or sharing something, or just posing a question in a group of women, like, gee, been uncomfortable with this. Does anyone else use vaginal lubricants? I don't know. I had a man ask me once, like, what can I do for my wife? I'm like, coconut oil. I don't know, so get beyond uncomfortable. That's what I would say. Like make the taboos, the conversations that have taboos around them, like crack them open.
Yeah, that can go both ways. It can go, as the older maybe, or the wise woman asking those questions.
The older
questions that somebody doesn't want to bring up, and then just the younger generation getting more comfortable bringing up those questions too. And I know when you and I were talking the other night, I had kind of mentioned, like, I have my grandmother, and there are some things that I wouldn't necessarily talk to her about because we have very different views on like politics or religion and that sort of thing. But I think a lot of women then just count that person out completely. If they don't agree with everything that they believe, then they're just kind of counted out as having like no wisdom at all worth offering, which is not the case. So there's still, nuggets of wisdom to be found regardless.
Totally. Our culture just bombards us with so much information also that we have to filter out and choose what we're going to hold on to. And I guess I'm saying that in the world of, how we should look and how we should feel, and then what we should talk about. I think there's not a lot of transparency there. I think one other thing we talked about that I've spent some time pondering is, beauty. And I actually even got into the, aesthetics of philosophy of what beauty means. And I think there's a beauty for every phase, though. I guess that's what I want to hold on to, that beauty isn't just like one point in your life. There's beauty with every phase, if you can see it and hold on to it. And it changes, but that's also part of the beauty. It doesn't stay the same.
Yeah. Does anybody have, we have about 5 minutes or 4 minutes now, before I was going to kind of do a quick run through of the wellness exchange for anybody that wanted to see, but does anyone have any questions or comments or want to add to the conversation? Maybe something that some advice you wish you would have gotten earlier, or where to start seeking support if you want it. And if not, that's fine too.
Well, Erin, we don't have platforms for this. Like, feel free to chime in, anyone, as I'm saying this. And I was a good Catholic girl growing up, and really, I very rarely swore in my whole life up till the last year. And I'd say we say, fuck it, just fuck it. And like amongst ourselves and other women, just say like something that you really have a question about, like have a few, have a glass of wine and just say, oh, I've got an uncomfortable question. Does anyone else, or I'm having a problem with, or like, I think we have to like chip away at these barriers. And maybe that's why there aren't questions, is because it's really such an uncomfortable, like we don't know how to ask.
So you're making me wonder, Kath, like, is it cultural? Is it our culture?
Sure.
Do older women in other cultures share this information more? Yeah. And why? I don't know why our culture is like that, especially about issues like this. It seems so silly to me. Like,
yeah, I think, I mean, another woman that was in the group, the women's group that I had done, was from Turkey, and she was kind of just blown away by our culture and how we do separate the older generations. They're just not accessible to us. We're not taking care of our elders in our home like other cultures are. And, they're often going to a nursing home, and then they're not easy to reach if you want their wisdom anyway. So definitely seems like a cultural thing.
Also very true in the culture of dying. Other cultures have grandma at home with them, so they're very comfortable around death and birth, and we're so separate from it in our culture. So it's true. I hate to say patriarchal, but I feel like, it's not really being run by the women.
Perla, were you gonna chime in something?
I was going to say, my sisters are 12 and 14 years older than I am. So my folks are way older. We were never talked about sex or period or what is this egg white coming out and what is all this stuff, because I didn't know. So I will tell you, thank God I'm a candid woman, but with my kids, I've embarrassed the shit out of them. I'm like, don't be embarrassed. This is normal. This is okay. And now being in the health and wellness world, like Crystal and this kid, I tell her everything. I just started hot flashes and I'm having the best time with it. I'm not gonna lie. And people are like, what? I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's like heat and it comes from my belly and it's only when I'm sleeping. And I wake up and I move the blankets off and I get tingly all over and then I get cold and then I bundle up and
we lost you.
I actually, for many, many years, and for my children and nieces, I don't know why not nephews, but would buy our bodies ourselves. And because it does get nitty gritty about, how your body functions and what to expect, a resource. There you are.
I froze. I don't know. I've got construction going on. I'm sorry, ladies. Like, get in your kitchen. Woo!
Yeah, congratulations.
But so we share all kinds of things with all these women, and sometimes it for them it's uncomfortable. For us, it's not anymore because it's just life. But it's so nice to hear other women like talking about this. And we were just Crystal's over here, my little business partner here. Crystal, hello.
Hello.
So my little 30-something. So it's good because we have a perspective from both sides. And she's like, but Perla, sometimes you can say things that I can't. And I said, no, just tell him I told you.
But I'm so in love with this concept because being a woman in my 30s, I'm like, teach me what you know, tell me stuff and things, So thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, this is just a conversation that I'm excited to continue, just, not only here, but outside and in everyday life, and just keep encouraging other women to continue the same. So before I just move on to brief Women's Wellness Exchange Q&A. Anybody else? No? Okay. Yeah, of course. So for the last few minutes, I'm going to open it up just for questions about the exchange in particular, about the community, about the directories, and we have questions on exactly what it is, how you could use it, how your business could use it. And also always available to email me at erin@womenswellnessexchange.com. I'll drop that in the comments right now. Let's see. And I'm going to do just a quick run through. I'm going to do a screen share and do a quick run through of the exchange for anybody that wants to stick around and just see how it works. Either as a, let's see, womenswellnessexchange.com. All right, my email's in the chat. So yeah, I'm just going to do a run through so you can see how it might benefit you as a business, and also just as anybody looking for a provider of various different modalities. So I'm going to do a screen share now. Okay. So this is the exchange from from the first page. So we, as you can see, we have a directory of members in various different modalities, which, see if I can, I'm just going to scroll down quick and show you all of the different modalities we have listed here. As you can see, there's many. We really want to be holistic in the providers and the services that we're offering. So among, you know, if you do have a service you're offering that's not on here, that's part of the wellness industry, we're happy to add anything to this list. So you can search members, you can view members by category. We also, members can list events here, write articles, and post special offers, post products. And all of these events, products, and offerings are also all advertised on our social media. You can see here's some of the latest posts by members. All recent members are added to the home page. So this is what it would look like, what your profile would look like on the home page here. And then I'm just gonna do a super quick run through of how easy it is to actually set up an account. You would just click founding member up here on the top right. And then it brings you to my dashboard here. Come on. Okay, so here's me that I created for us today to look at. So this is what your dashboard looks like. Very, very easy to enter all of your information. So as you can see, you can post a community article, a blog post, special offers, events, you can post videos, products, and really all you have to do to get your profile up and running is fill out your contact details here, social media, and then you'll move on to your profile picture. Oftentimes people will want to put maybe a company logo in. We really would suggest putting in a more personal photo. It's just nice to see, you know, connect the women to women. So the face behind the company is always nice to have. And then the next section is where you would pick your categories that you specialize in. And then the last section to get you up and running is just your about section, which if you've ever posted any sort of blog is very similar. You know, your mission, why you started, the services you offer, you can add videos, you can add pictures, and then after that you are up and running. So if anybody has any more questions, I'm gonna stop the share now, for you know, about joining the exchange, or questions about, you know, how to get started, feel free to let me know. There's also a longer video that Tracy did, about not super long, about 6 minutes, on getting started on the exchange and exactly how to fill everything out. So any more questions on that before we log off? Good. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. I am going to also, we don't typically record these. We did record today. So I'm going to make the recording available and send that to you. If there's anybody, any women in your life that you'd like to share this with, I will email it to everybody in the next couple of days.
All right, let's do this again, Erin. Let's open up
fun.
the taboos.
All right, thanks, ladies.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Kath. Thanks, Erin. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Amy.
Bye.